Okay, to start with, can somebody tell me one thing about the 19th century or the 1800s? Doesn't even have to do with education. Can anybody tell me anything about it? Let's really dig deep. Perhaps there was a war that occurred. Some things were being built fast. All right, how about this? Has anybody heard of the Industrial Revolution? Sweet. Jackie, I'm picking on you. Can you tell? Yeah, I'm picking on you. Can you say just one sentence about the Industrial Revolution? It was revolutionary. All right. I will take it. Thank you, Jackie. So, everything that happened during the 19th century, things were going fast, things were moving. Industrial, lies, everything. We were progressing through automation and such. Feel free to take one. You earned it. You're welcome. All right. So thanks to Jackie, that is a nice idea of what happened. It is industrialized society. Later on down the road, we would have things called industrial warfare, etc., etc. Horrible things, but not all horrible. But with that age of industrialization, there was indeed a lack of moral focus. Or at least folks like Horace Mann believe so. And as Professor Heinel here addressed, that there was a need for that. And this father of education, amongst many, Isabel mentioned one of them, progressed with this movement. Contemporary activities we continue today. So, what happened? And it's not up there, so I won't even bother with that. Schools became the central education institution of the 19th century, 1800s, supplanting the roles once played by families and church, replacing. So instead of having old Ben and Aunt Marie saying, hey, we're going to teach you science today, let's throw this rock in the water and splash. That's science. Instead of having that, there is actually going to be a standardized education, federally backed, I might add. And that last part, or maybe not, that last part is actually the issue. A lot of them had. Catholics had an issue. Protestant influenced indoctrination. Indoctrination or education, depending on who's listening. Protestants were not a fan of Catholics, as we've learned so far in this. So, the Catholics, not appreciating the idea of Horace Mann saying, hey, let's have a standard education, they were against that. Further to that, those of wealthier class were not too happy with Horace Mann's ideas. Primarily because they didn't appreciate the quote-unquote layman, son, daughter, being funded. And especially in a time where social Darwinism was popular. The idea of a man is worth as much as he can pull his own pants up and get up in the day. So, due to the early 1800s, the rise of industry, the United States' rapid change, common schools, by Horace Mann, were hold that coordinated standard. And I'm going to skip through here. And I will include, though, African Americans were part of this bunch. So it's interesting how we can tie in critical race theory today, and that was something in the past. Might be a stretch, but I thought that was interesting. But such enrollment, games gathered about 20%. The enrollment games, everything that they played, 20%. 20% is not a small number. That's impressive. Why this happened? Well, again, industry. This powerful thing this country is trying to do, we're leaving behind our moral part of it. And Horace Mann, along with other contemporaries, said, hey, we need to fix this. We're losing something here. The image of the wealthy industrialist exploiting children proved a powerful motivation for change. This stuff sounds familiar because it's from our resources. I don't know if you folks have seen them recently, but maybe it's at like 12 of the night, aside from other commercials, you'll usually say, for 20 cents a day, you too can save an elephant. It's kind of like the same emotion with the sad music and everything. Seeing a bunch of kids in horrible working conditions is what really pushed this movement. You get the public's emotions going, things usually get rolling, one way or the other. Why this is worth knowing. I switched this up because with all this information I am presenting with you, I feel as if it's kind of a good idea to know why we're doing it in the first place. Why it's worth knowing is because the standards we hold today are what this man and other contemporaries brought. This common school. The reason why all of us came from a high school is because of this man and others. It's not just a job that we're doing. It's not just to be collecting another paycheck. It's in fact our duty as dedicated professionals, tell me this sounds familiar, to communicate to bodies of learning, to teach for understanding, and that is our goal. That is our objective. So, Horace Mann and his contemporaries, we got to thank them. Because that's a big reason why we want to do this, why we're in this major. Lasting impact in education. We talked about in the beginning of this class, thanks to Professor Heinel, was women to transform teaching profession into one based on compassionate approach to moral and intellectual development of children, rather than the traditional focus of order and discipline. As an asterisk, discipline is usually in this day and age is negative. And I think from the examples we've seen from how the predominantly male teachers treated their students, yeah, we would say that's a negative version of discipline. But this is valuable. As it was presented, look around us. A lot more females than males. Sorry guys. That's not bad. Just something we have. And that's thanks to this common schools. There's an opportunity for women to say, hey, instead of having to sit here because I'm told to, I'm actually smart and I want to do this. Of course, there's limits, but hey, it's an in. It's an open door. Look how far we've come. Traditions, schools, women progressing, education, commonality, all thanks to Horace Mann. Thank you.
Thank you.